Obama has been reelected, Obamacare is the law of the land. Dr. Barbara Billar is one person, though, who is not particularly happy about it. She says she lost her job at a hospital because of her opposition to Obamacare. You will remember, while running for the Illinois State Senate, Dr. Billar offered a very public and very brutal diagnosis of the president's health care law.
We're going to be gifted with a health care plan we are forced to purchase and fined if we don't, which purportedly covers at least 10 million more people without adding a single new doctor, but provides for 16,000 new IRS agents, written by a committee whose chairman says he doesn't understand it, passed by a Congress that didn't read it but exempted themselves from it, and signed by a president who smokes, with funding administered by a Treasury chief who didn't pay his taxes, for which we will be taxed for 4 years before any benefits take effect, by a government which has already bankrupted Social Security and Medicare, all to be overseen by a Surgeon General who is obese, financed by a country that's broke. So what the blank could possibly go wrong?
So did her stance on Obamacare cost Dr. Billar her job? Now, we reached out to her employer, Metro South Medical Center. A spokesperson told us that hospital practice is not to comment on private personnel matters. Dr. Billar joins us. Good evening, doctor.
Good evening, Greta.
Well, looking at the record, let me ask you, how do you do with your patients? Any problems at the hospital with any of your patients?
Oh, no, it's been reported to me a couple of times this week that my patient satisfaction has been consistently high over the past number of years, and my internal office audits, we just had one, was 96%, which is really good. I happen to be also chair of the ethics committee, and I write senior articles every month and do a lot of public speaking for the hospital.
All right, so why did this private hospital, I'm sure you asked them, they decide not to renew your contract, but you sat down with the CEO, and what did the CEO give you as the explanation why your contract with that record is not being renewed?
I do not receive any kind of adequate explanation. I pretty much had to precipitate for the meeting to even happen, and I did bring an attorney with me because I felt very vulnerable, and they insisted the attorney could not be present. So he kindly left, and then I was sitting there with 3 people from the organization. There's no good explanation. I firmly believe, and I am of the opinion, that failure to renew my contract is a direct result of my being an opponent of Obamacare and resonating with the United States, the American public, of the viral video, which is 3.5 million hits at least.
Why do you think that? Did someone say anything, or is it simply the coincidence? Obviously, that video did go viral. We played it here on Fox News a number of times, here and on the record a number of times, so it definitely did go viral. But is it just that, what are the odds that you would have something so viral and you had such a good record as a doctor that your contract isn't renewed, or is there any other, evidence or proof?
No, I've checked all avenues. I mean, if a person wanted to bring up age discrimination or nepotism or other matters, but it really appears to be that I'm a conservative candidate, and there's a bigger organization that owns this organization, and so I may be just too much of a political hot potato potential for them. But right, that's what it appears. I firmly, yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I firmly believe it's a result of my being an opponent of Obamacare.
All right, so you lost your state Senate race. Has the hospital, did they ever object to you running for office?
They never clarified either way, though a statement was made this week that they would have, I would have probably been there because he said if I was elected as Senate, they would have been glad to have a senator in the hospital. But I don't know if you wanted to discuss a moment what actually did happen in Illinois. I kind of wanted to throw out just a perspective of, we ran a superb campaign, and I wanted to give a couple of points if you want to discuss that.
Go ahead.
Number one is that I think it's the severe partisan redistricting of what happened in Illinois. We used to be a red state in the 80s, and now it's a blue state, and I think we were outfunded 3 to 1, thanks of course to Madigan and unions and trial lawyers and private PACs. And I think the GOP needs to present real solutions, not just talk about who we should fire. That can be part of it, but we need the real solutions, and we need to stop being ashamed of being a conservative platform. I mean, the GOP has become spineless, and you know, it's like we're too weak to speak. And we need a voice, and I have vocal cords, and I believe the message that, you know, is prime is traditional values and limited government. And lastly, the Democrats did an excellent ground game. They had 3 years to register millions of voters, and they did a really good job of that.
All right, we only have about 30 seconds left. I'm curious, this is the hospital that didn't renew your contract, privately owned. Do they have any financial problems? I mean, would that be a reason to let you go or not? Are they doing okay?
I believe they're doing okay. I know, you know, they just hired a young doctor 2 weeks ago. So
are you
related
gonna,
to someone.
Are you gonna file suit about the fact? I guess I mean, it's not like you're fired. They just didn't renew your contract. But do you intend to make? Is this the end of it, or is there more action for the hospital?
I think it remains to be seen. They're definitely not being considerate, reasonable, or cooperative at all. And so there are more things to be said on this matter. And I also want to add, if you're interested in my political interest for the future, you can't deny destiny. And I think you know when you're meant to be in public office. So I can continue to pursue acting in medicine and wanting to be of service to the public.
Dr. Bellari, thank you. We'll be watching to see if anything develops in this. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Coming up, Senator